In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do something called a while loop. Now, what a while loop does is it allows you to execute a certain block of code multiple times, but you only have to write it one time. So it saves you a lot of time when you write a code. And let me show you what the syntax is for this. The first thing that we need is a variable, and I'm gonna name mine counter and set it equal to 0 to begin with. Now, the syntax for a while loop is just the word while, and this means begin your while loop. And what your while loop is gonna do is whatever it is in the body of your while loop or curly braces, it's gonna execute this code. And let's go ahead and say system out print line, and let's go ahead and just print the variable counter. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna execute this line of code multiple times. So you're saying, alright, how many times is it gonna execute? Well, that is up to on whatever you put in the condition. So let's write while counter is less than 10, we want you to output counter. So right now, here's what would happen. It says, alright, what's counter? 0, print counter. What's counter? 0, print counter. So this loop would kind of go forever, so we need a way to end the loop somehow. So we need a way to change counters. So let's go ahead and use the incrementing operator that we learned. And just put counter plus plus. Let me run this real quick and show you what it does. Run, okay. And our little run box, we get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just what we wanted. Now, let me show you guys one more time what this does. We had a counter variable to begin, and it started as 0. The first time we told while is, alright, while this counter is less than 10, we want you just to write whatever number it is on the screen. So the first time it looped, it was 0, so it outputted 0, and then it added 1 to it, so then it was 1. So now it looped again, and is counter less than 10? Yup, let me put that on screen. Now it's 2. Is counter less than 10? Yup, and it did that again and again until it got to 10. And when it got to 10, is 10 less than 10? Nope, so I'm just not gonna do anything. So that's how you use loops to execute a block of code many times without having to write it over and over again. If we didn't have this, we would have to write print our print statement 10 times. As you can see, this saves you a lot of time. So again, the syntax for while loop is while, and then put your test condition in the parentheses, and then put whatever you want to execute in curly braces right here. And whatever you execute is going to do that, however many times you say. So that's your quick tutorial on loops. Thank you for watching.
Public class for each example public static void main string args int is equal to 12, 23, 44, 56, 78. For int I then system dot out dot system dot out dot print print line. Let's see kung gagana po siya. Ito po, nakita nyo po, gumana po siya. So, sana po makatulong tong video tutorial na to para sa inyo.
A pleasant day to all. I'm Mesa Gem DL San Pedro, and I'm here to discuss the topic about for loops. It is a concise format in which to execute loops. It's my favorite among the 3 types of loops because it's very simple and easy to use. I'd like to display values 1 to 10 using for loops. The first statement inside the for loop is the initial value. I'll be using z, so int z is equals to 1, then followed by a semicolon. The next part will be the end value and then your condition, so z is less than 11, followed again by semicolon. For the counter part, we call this as the increment and decrement. Here, in for loop, we'll be using a simple increment, so z plus plus, meaning that z is always added by plus 1. And then, we print the value of z So z value plus z plus space So as we run the for loops, these are the final output. As you can see, the values were properly arranged from 1 to 10 and has a very good structure.
Now, in this part, we're going to learn about the do-while loops. So the do-while loop is very similar to while loop. So first, let me type our example. So integer, for example, y is equals to 1, and then the do, open curly brace, system dot out the print line, and then y, and then going to type y equals to y plus 1, and then on the end curly brace we're going to type the while, open and close parenthesis, y is less than equal to, like, for example, 15, and then we're going to run it. So the do while loop is very similar to while loop. However, there is a difference between them. In while loop, condition is evaluated first, and then the statements inside loop body gets executed. On the other hand, in do while loop, statements inside the do while gets executed first, and then the condition is evaluated. So thank you for watching. I hope you learned about the do while loops.
Hi guys, ngayon tuturuan ko kayo kung paano ginagawa ang nested while loop. Kasi tinawag na nested kasi sa loob ng while, may isa pang while. Kaya tinawag siyang nested while loop. Ngayon, simulan natin sa paggawa ng body. Kung makikita nyo, may natapos na akong example. Tuturo ko na lang kung paano ko siya ginawa. Ngayon, mag-declare tayo ng value. Sabihin natin na int I equals to 9. Lagyan natin ng condition na while I is greater than or equals to 0. Masusunod lang daw itong variable natin na ito kung nag-yes sa condition natin dito. If nag-no, mag-exit siya. If yes, pupunta siya ulit dito sa pangalawang variable natin. Sa pangalawang variable natin ay int k is equals to I at ang kanyang condition ay while k is greater than or equals to 0. Parang ganoon din sa una. Kapag nag-no dito, mag-exit siya. Pero pag nag-yes, dire-diretso siya sa print. At nga pala, huwag nyo kakalimutan maglagay ng increment sa variable na k at sa variable na I para mag-decrease o mabago ang inyong variable. So, try natin i-run ang program. So, ayan guys, successful ang program natin. Sana, naintindihan nyo kung paano nangyayari o ginagawa ang nested while loop. Thank you!
So our going to do is nested for loop. And this is our final output. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, nagawa ko na siya. And ipapakita ko na lang sa inyo kung paano ko siya ginawa. So, let's start. Int RC is equal to 5. RC for row counts. And 5 because you need 5 different lines. And magtagyan lang ng variable dito na I, j, max is equal to 1. So, for I is equal to 1 and I less than or equal to RC and I plus plus. Itong for na to, ito yung ating loop 1. Yung loop 1 na yan, siya yung ating inner loop. Mamaya, explain ko sa inyo kung ano ang ginagawa ni inner loop. Now, coming into the for loop, I'm just supposed to print one new line each time when this outer loop is getting executed. So, maglalagay lang ako dito ng system.out.print line. In the first row, how many num are getting printed? I'm printing one num. Num is equal to 1. And for j is equal to 1 and j is less than or equal max and j plus plus. So, I would want to have j is equal to 1 and I would like to give it as j less than or equal to max and j plus plus. The value of j is equal to 1 and the value of j less than or equal to max and j plus plus. this loop is going to get executed exactly once. And nailagay ko na rin naman siya dito, so hindi siya magkakaroon ng underline na color red. Kapag hindi kasi natin siya inilagay dito, ay magkakaroon siya ng underline na color red dahil hindi siya babasahin bilang isang variable. So, the output of this program is going to be one number line, and that's actually compile it. And this is our loop 1, and this is our loop 2. Na ganun lang din natin. This is our loop 1 and our loop 2. So, loop 1 is actually running 5 times, and loop 2 is running exactly once. But I want to make small challenge mine. Loop 2 is running for the second time. When loop 2 is running for the second time, I wanted to run twice. But it's running for the third time, I need to run it thrice. But it's running for the fourth time, I need to make it run 4 times. But it's running for the fifth time, I need to make it run 5 times. So, I need another variable over here. So, this is max. Max, nilagay na natin siya sa variable. And I initialize max to 1. I already do that na. Then max over here, here, and then max over here. But, hindi pa dyan natatapos yun. Because, kailangan pa natin maglagay dito ng another system that print, which is num. And num++. Guys, make sure na tama yung spelling natin and yung ginagamit nating symbols. Kasi kung hindi, magkakaroon siya ng ganon. Example, eto. Yan, nagkakaroon siya ng color red na ganyan kapag mali yung spelling natin. So, make sure na tama yung ginagamit natin symbol and yung spelling na ginagamit natin is correct. Because, when it comes to running, magkakaroon siya ng error kapag nirun na natin siya. And, each time when it is completing this loop, I write max plus here. Plus. And, sabi ko kanina, i-explain ko kung ano yung ginagawa ni inner loop and ni outer loop. So, the inner loop is executing once for the first time, twice for the second time, thrice for the third time, and more times for the fourth time, and 5 times for the 5th times. Who is controlling how many times the inner loop has to execute? It is max. Here, max. This variable is controlling how many times the inner loop was supposed to execute, and the outer loop is controlling how many times the inner loop is supposed to execute. So, yun yung ginagawa ni inner loop and the outer loop. Okay, let's run this para makita natin kung may error ba tayo or wala. Okay, hintayin na lang natin siya and tadan! Wala tayong error! Yay! Check natin. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Diba? Sobrang dali lang ni nested for loop. So, yun. Thank you for watching, guys. God bless. Bye!